Chelsea have reached an agreement with Brighton to sign Facundo Buonanotte on a 1-year loan. Now, of course, this comes after the Xavi Simons deal was hijacked by Tottenham. Of course, it was done very quickly. The fee was agreed, personal terms were agreed, and the signing was announced, medical, everything, all in 24 hours. It moved fast. And, of course, for the last month, we've been thinking that Chelsea are the clear favourites, and the only real competition was Bayern, Man City were lurking, but it was always Chelsea with Xavi Simons. He wanted to join us, we wanted him. It just seemed like a matter of time, but as the days went by, the weeks, the month went by, I started to think to myself, is this really progressing? Is it going to happen? Because we know Fabrizio Romano loves to drag out stories, you know. He will see that, oh wait, he gets a call from one of his sources. Wait, Chelsea have reached personal terms with Xavi Simons. Okay, great. So that gives him sort of the kind of freedom and jerk to just repeat the same thing over and over, because hopefully, because personal terms have been agreed, the whole deal should, right, in theory, be agreed. And Xavi Simons should be a Chelsea player. So we were hearing language like Xavi Simons to Chelsea's 85% chance of it happening, or it's only Chelsea in the race, or they're the only team that's serious about buying Xavi Simons. Xavi Simons is only serious about joining Chelsea. And then Tottenham come in. I mean, I'm sorry, if you're only serious about signing for Chelsea, you don't say yes to Tottenham. I'm sorry, you don't. Fabrizio Romano is a whole other topic, man. The guy, there's a lot of things that I've been criticising about, and I'm glad that a lot of people are starting to see the light as well with him. But anyways, we still use him for news like this. For the here we go for Buonanotte, he says it's a 1-year loan, but there's no buy option clause, which is interesting. And we'll talk more about Buonanotte in a second, but I just want to touch on Xavi Simons because it's been a hectic week. And I haven't made any videos. I'm sorry, I haven't. I went to Reading Festival on Sunday, had a great time. And I came back and I was honestly sleep deprived and ill. It was worth it though, but yeah, I had the festival flu and I missed some big events, man. You know, you think, what could I miss in midweek? Well, we obviously had the whole Xavi Simons deal collapsing. Now Buonanotte. Also, the Champions League draw happened. Obviously, Chelsea involved with that. I didn't make a video. I probably should. I might make one. I probably will at some point. Maybe just say my predictions. But then also Man United. Grimsby Town. I mean, that's unbelievable. And yeah, man, I really wish like I made a video now looking back on it. But it's a crazy week of football. And I probably missed a lot of stuff out anyway. But anyways, more on Xavi Simons. Look, I was always a fan of Xavi Simons. I was also... Okay, another thing, Garnacho. Look, here we go to Chelsea as well. I was always on the side of we should prioritise Xavi Simons over Garnacho. And, you know, if we were to get one of the two, it was always Xavi Simons for me. And look, that's probably due to a variety of reasons, but it doesn't really matter now because now we know Xavi Simons will not be playing for Chelsea and Garnacho will be. So there's no real point going back on that. But it does disappoint me a little bit. Because I'll be honest with you, I was really excited for Xavi Simons to play at Chelsea. And I kind of already made up in my mind the fact that, yeah, he's going to be playing at Stamford Bridge. I'm going to be watching Xavi Simons play for my club. Now, the reason why I'm also a bit more disappointed is that he's gone to Tottenham. And that, to me, shows that something's gone wrong there with the negotiations from our side. Because I'm sorry, no player in their right mind chooses Tottenham over Chelsea. Especially in this day and age. They don't. Especially a Xavi Simons, a young player who can get game time at Chelsea, will obviously be competing for trophies. Nobody chooses Tottenham over us. So clearly, Leipzig or Chelsea even must have just said to Xavi, look, we're not going to reach the fee that Leipzig are asking for. Just go to Tottenham. And it's a shame, man, because it's now coming out that it was only, £50 million? Which in today's economy is so cheap. So I cannot fathom, for a player like Xavi Simons, I cannot fathom why we haven't gone all out on him and instead chose to get Garnacho for 10 million cheaper when Garnacho maybe isn't half the player, but he's not Xavi Simons. He's not. Obviously, Garnacho is Prem proven to an extent and he is a good player. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to back Garnacho all the way. He's a Chelsea player. You know, we have to back him. And I'm going to back him. I hope he does amazingly at Chelsea. But again, you know, Tottenham have got themselves a gem with Xavi Simons, and although I don't hope he does the best at Tottenham, obviously, I have a sneaky feeling that he really is going to take Tottenham from here to here. Their business has been so good this summer. Kudus, Pellegrini, Xavi Simons. They could still even get Savinho over the line. I mean, we don't really know what's going on there. I've probably missed out more signings they made as well. They have been on it. And now it's looking like they're trying to get a Kanji as well for defensive reinforcement. He's not really at his best right now. So I don't think he gets into the back line of Romero and Van der Ven. Maybe he sneaks in at full-back somewhere. I don't know. But they are serious this window. And I'm not saying we aren't, but this is a bit, it does dampen my mood a little bit to do with this window. Because so far I thought we were having a very good window. I wouldn't say flawless, I wouldn't say perfect, but we were having a very good window. I mean, we signed a winger in Gittins to replace Madueke. The jury's still out on whether Gittins is an upgrade on Madueke, but I certainly don't think he's a downgrade, or you can say he's a downgrade yet. We signed Delap and João Pedro, striker reinforcements. João Pedro can play in the 10 as well, back up for Palmer. And of course, we made other few pickups for depth, like Asugo and Garnacho, and obviously more forward depth. And Jorel Harto as well, defensive depth. So we've done some good business. But it really was, for me, a case of just go for Xavi Simons, bro. Get that extra bit of X factor. And Garnacho, honestly, let that be United's problem, man. Let that be United's problem. But, yeah, we've chosen with Garnacho, and it's a shame to me. But we'll see how he does. But now on the focus of the video. Buonanotte. This is the one that confuses me a lot. A lot. It's not like the Enciso deal from Brighton, where we've signed him on a permanent, but he's going to go to Strasbourg. If he does good at Strasbourg, maybe he'll come to Chelsea. If not, he might stay. It's a very weird one in that scenario, in that case. But with Buonanotte, it's nothing to do with that. It's a season-long loan to Chelsea with no option to buy. So what is the long-term plan here? We're not a mid-table, bottom half of the table championship side that needs quick loans for short-term success to stay in the Premier League. Because this is not a player who is going to start for us. I'm sorry, he's not. He's clearly a backup for Palmer. Maybe can play out wide as well. But he's not better than any of the talent we've already got. And if he's a backup for Palmer, for the injury that's just happened, because this seems like a very reactionary deal, I wonder how long Palmer's out for. Because there still hasn't been much clarity on that. I mean, Maresca said it's day-to-day, so that doesn't seem serious to me. Obviously, we saw pictures of him having fun at Carney, so I don't think Palmer's out for that long. I think he should be back after the international break. So I don't understand this move in the slightest. Buonanotte would want game time at this stage of his career. He's just had a semi-successful loan at Leicester, although he got relegated. He was probably one of their brighter players. But is this the best we can do? I'm not sure, guys. I'm not sure with this one. And look, there's been a lot of other names floating around. Fermin Lopez is a player who I rate highly. But he would cost us more than Xavi Simons. He plays deeper than Xavi Simons, which means, there's much more competition because we've got players like Lavia, Andre Santos, not even starting for us there. Obviously, Caicedo and Enzo are there as well. So that wouldn't make much sense. And also, Fermin, obviously, he's a boyhood Barcelona fan. He's a La Masia product, I think. So I don't think he wants to leave. I think, in fact, it's reported that he doesn't want to leave, unless, obviously, he's forced out or pressured to leave. And then, obviously, the same name that's been lurking around for almost over a season now, Morgan Rogers. Let's be honest, it's not going to get done this window. He is a player I rate really highly, and I would love to see him at Stamford Bridge. But honestly, I don't think our window is done here at Buonanotte. This cannot be the climax or, the finale. We still have a lot of issues to address with the squad. And look, with Chelsea, we love to make deals, signings. I have no doubt we'll go and make some more. But there's not long left of the window. There's, 3-4 days? I think it closes on Monday. So we have to be snappy. And who's really available? And look, I still personally think we need a centre-back to cover, obviously, for Colwell, who's been injured. Hato, we don't know how well he's going to adapt to the Prem. And he might just be a backup for Correa. We don't even know if he can play centre-back or if his best position is at centre-back. Fofana, Badiashile aren't reliable options. We've learned that. We can't just go blindly expecting them to be. Chalobah's had injuries in the past, although he's been probably the most reliable. Tosin's had a few knocks, but I don't think we could just dive headfirst into a season with Chalobah and Tosin as our just, main pair of centre-backs. I rate them very highly. They did very well against West Ham. Ashampong's there as well. But a bit more reinforcement would really do us good. It really would. And if anything, a 1-year loan there, signing a player on a loan there with no option to buy would make much more sense than whatever this is. I don't understand it. Can he play centre back? Maybe I don't know. Maybe we've just signed him because he comes from Brighton and we just want to do them a favour. Because Brighton have been so kind to us in the past, giving us Caicedo, João Pedro, Robert Sanchez, who hate him or love it. I don't care. I rate him. Marco Correa. They've done us some nice ones. So we were like, you know what? You don't have room for Buonanotte. Just give him to us. We'll play him in the cup. Maybe he'll play in the Champions League against one of the worse sides. A few appearances off the bench in the Prem. Just hand him to us. Honestly, keep the change. No, but seriously, I don't understand it. If this is the replacement for Xavi Simons or the Xavi Simons, alternative, I don't get it because he's nowhere near that level. And there's obviously no buy option, so we don't believe in the level clearly or the potential. If it's just for depth or a Palmer, a Palmer backup, that confuses me as well because we just signed João Pedro, who we've seen can play in a 10, Esteval, who can play on the wing and cover for him when Pedro drops back, and Palmer shouldn't be injured for that long. So I don't get it, guys. I don't. But anyways, it is what it is. It's a signing. Hey, I got a bit of dopamine seeing the here we go. I won't lie to you. And I don't know much about him. I've seen him play obviously for Leicester last year and for Brighton a few times. He's obviously a Brighton player. But yeah, I saw a funny little tweet a few minutes ago showing the quote tweet of a Brighton tweet with 3 flags from South American countries. And they were the countries of 3 players that used to play for Brighton in 2023. And the photo it was Buonanotte, Enciso, and Barco. And the quote he just said, they now all play for Blueco, or Blueco signed them all. Because it's true, Barco's at Strasbourg, Enciso's at Strasbourg/Chelsea, whatever that means. And Buonanotte's at Chelsea. We really love Brighton. We don't get it. We genuinely may as well just sign them to be a part of Blueco at this point. Honestly, how much would they cost? Maybe 500 million to buy? I don't even know. Maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. I mean, they're not in Europe right now. Hey, Todd Bowley, bid, bro. At this point, we signed Graham Potter as well back in the day. Gave him 20 million for him. Oh my God, guys. What do Brighton have on us for us to keep having to do this? But anyway, yeah, man. It's an interesting one. We'll see how he does. We'll see if he does. Because I don't know when he's going to play. But anyways, it's depth. Look, it's depth. And to me, that's a positive. We can't really lose it. I don't know if there's a loan fee. If there is, and it's not too high, we can't really lose it. But I think what we have lost out is on Xavi Simons. But anyways, Buonanotte and Garnacho are going to be Chelsea players. We'll see how they do. And I'll see you lot tomorrow after the Chelsea-Fulham game. And hopefully we can pick up the 3 points there. In a bit.